Welcome to our second installment looking at the greatest openings in cinematic history. Let me remind you that today's list is not all-inclusive and is in no particular order, so set down your pitchfork and let's jump right in. First up is Goodfellas. First of all, there's the text. This film is based on a true story. Now I know in reality that's a pretty low bar and means next to nothing, but even so you do have to admit it adds a bit more intensity to the film. In any case, it cuts straight to a car ride, where we have Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci all doing what they do best, which is playing a bunch of scumbag a-hole gangsters. We quickly learn they have somebody in the trunk of the car. They thought he was dead, but turns out he's not. So they take action to re-deadify him. Then it's straight to Ray Liotta's legendary voiceover.
As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster.
The next one we're looking at is Raiders of the Lost Ark. While it's the second movie in the Indiana Jones franchise chronologically, it was the first to be released, and so it had the honor of giving the world the first taste of Indiana Jones, and it does so in an iconic manner. I mean, honestly, a good portion of the people watching this video have probably never even seen the movie, but regardless are extremely familiar with this opening sequence, simply because it's been referenced and parodied so many times over the years. We have Indy encounter the idol he's after, double-check the weight of his sandbag, and expertly make the switch on the pressure plate. It's all going so well, until it isn't. The trap is sprung and he needs to book it out of there. And in the process, what do we get? That's right, the iconic rolling boulder. And with this daring escape, Indiana Jones immediately secures his rightful place as a legend in movie history. Next up is Goldeneye, the first James Bond movie with Pierce Brosnan taking the lead. And you know what, enough time has passed that I think I can say confidently this is one of my favorite Bond films. Top 5 at least. It hits all the familiar beats of your standard James Bond opening. We join 007 mid-mission, pulling off all sorts of cool secret agent stuff. But what's especially cool here is we get to see him rendezvous for the first time with another 00 agent. Well, of course things go wrong, and that leads into an interesting and kind of funny escape attempt, which leads right back into the action and culminates with what's just gotta be one of the best Bond stunts ever. I mean, come on, how cool is that? Next up we have Star Wars, the first one, and by first, of course I mean fourth. Now today, everything associated with Star Wars has just been done to death, including that joke I just did. But pretend for a second you know nothing about Darth Vader, nothing about Jar Jar, nothing about, OSHA. You just sit down for the movie and it hits you with this? Oh man, that's big. And it just keeps going. Yeah, our first look at a Star Destroyer was nothing less than jaw-dropping. And because it was done with practical effects, it looks just as good today as it did back then. You can't even say that about the remasters. Our last one for today is gonna be Blade. The movie opens with a blood rave, which shows us that not only do vampires exist, they exist in huge numbers, and can apparently have these loud, lavish gatherings without fear of anything. Except wait, there is one thing they're afraid of. And here he comes, the Daywalker. And immediately we learn why. Blade just goes off, easily laying waste to the entire crowd of vampires. And it deserves a spot on this list not only because it's such a great action scene, but also because it's a masterful example of show, don't tell. With almost no dialogue, we are fully introduced to the world of Blade. And if you haven't seen the movie in a while, I highly recommend going back and checking it out again. I guarantee it's even better than you remember. The sequel too. You can stop there though. And that'll wrap us up for today. But please let me know in the comments what movie had an opening sequence that left a big impression on you. And as usual, thanks for watching and we'll see you at the next one.